Hello everybody, and welcome to episode number 39 of Final Boss TV, your WoW endgame rating show. I will be your host. My name is Adam K, aka Bay, and today we had an awesome show planned. We'll try to figure out something to do now because of some issues. Those of you that might have frequented Ducksauce's stream earlier today might have noticed that he had some internet problems. So filling in for Ducksauce today is going to be none other than the awesome co-host of Final Boss TV, NFL. Hi Anna, how you doing? Hi Anna.
Hey.
Are you
almost missed the show today? I was gonna stay outside in the sun, but I got only about 10 angry text messages from you saying that you needed me, so here I am. Better be a good show. I hope chat's ready to be excited today.
Yeah, absolutely. I think they should be too. So let me bail out of the intro music here real quick, and I'll go over to Twitch and update it that it's gonna be you and me to actually wait. Hang on, what's this? What's this? What's this?
It's time to kick ass and chew bubble gum. And I'm all out of gum.
Life is like a hurricane here in Dark World. Arrows, failed traps, power shots. It's a dark blur. He's a living mystery. Rewriting Warcraft history. It's Ducksauce. Woo! One power shot right in your butt. It's Ducksauce. Woo! Camouflaging master, ready for disaster. It's Ducksauce. Woo! The danger lurks behind you.
Now Noodles is coming to get you. Come on, April.
Ducksauce. Woo! One power shot straight up your butt. It's Ducksauce. Woo! Camouflaging master, ready for disaster. Ducksauce. Woo! Prepare for Ducksauce. Skadoosh.
Hail to the king, baby.
There it is.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at in the world right now. There's a little technical difficulty there, I could barely hear it.
Oh, really? You couldn't? Aw, see? Oh, well, it still worked. It still worked. There he is. There he is.
The last thing I heard was the Duck Nukem, and I was like, oh, there it is, right there. Like I heard it was kind of cutting in and out. I was like, oh god.
Oh,
what's
god.
up, guys?
Well, we made it. We made it. It worked. It didn't explode.
We did.
Somehow.
We did. There
It's a good thing you're here. I didn't really want to do this show all on my own.
Yeah, seriously.
If you weren't going to be here, I was just going to go right back outside, so it's a good thing you made it.
I don't
Yeah,
think...
well, I would too. It's like 82 degrees.
I know, it's beautiful.
I don't think the show notes would have fit very well for just Anna and I to talk about. I don't think we have enough the experience for all those questions.
Yeah.
But no, I think it worked out. So troll achieved. It's okay. Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, I was like, just go ahead and use that. The fact that I couldn't broadcast this morning, just use the connection issue. That'll work real well.
Yeah, well, I almost had some connection issues today, so it's a good
Oh,
thing at least we all
see?
made it.
You can't do that to me. Both of you.
I know. We weren't here at like 3:15, and I was just sitting out there thinking, man, Bay's probably really stressing out right now because no one is here.
Yeah.
I was late.
Bit.
I was eating and enjoying the day too. So
A little bit sometimes. Yep, absolutely. Well, he's here, so we can get the show underway. So, Anna, take it away.
Let's get started. I mean, first of all, tell us a little bit about yourself. What it is that you do, why we've got tons of people in stream chat linking all of your emotes.
Oh yeah. Well,
So where are you from on the internet?
Well, I have a channel on Twitch called /Ducksauce, and that started a couple of years ago. Well, almost 2 years ago, and it has kind of turned into this crazy way for me to live my life and pursue my dreams of acting. And I actually got started on Twitch because a buddy of mine linked me in a video, a stream, a live broadcast, and I saw it, and I was just like, well, this isn't very entertaining. Like I was kind of bored, and they didn't seem like they wanted me to kind of stay around. So I was like, let me try this. Let me just see what I can do. And and sure enough, it kind of took off. Like over the years, it just progressively got bigger and bigger, and now it's at a place where I can live my life comfortably and pursue my dreams of acting, and it's amazing. Yeah.
That's really exciting. When did you start streaming then? When did this all go on?
July of 2012 is when I started. I got partnered in August, that following month, and then I had my sub button in October 25th in 2012. And that's, yeah. And
Wow.
the support from that stream is kind of ridiculous. I like to tell people this, that 80% of the people that subscribed in October in 2012 are still subscribed today. From the first day of subscribing, there was like 97 people, I think, that subscribed that day.
Wow.
And 80% of those people are still here today, which is amazing. So
Wow, that's fantastic. So it really has been years then. You weren't exaggerating, because it sounds like it'll almost be 2 years then, in a month or two.
Almost 2 years, yeah. Almost 2 years. They're like, where's the Arthas cam? He's over here. Right? I can show you. He's over there sleeping. You see his head, right? So.
Aw.
Yeah. He's not, he might show up in the show now and then, but this is about Matthew. So you guys can get enough of Arthas when you go watch his own stream. Right now.
I know, right?
It's about So, and I guess a little bit more about that. Let's go back more into like where you started out, the history and the trials of you becoming a broadcaster. So, like, who is Matthew Rhode before TwitchTV? Like, before any of that, who was this guy?
There was a big transition in my life when I was 18. I met a girl on the internet from AOL chat.
Oh, boy.
And actually,
Wow, how
at the
all
time,
excellent stories
hold on.
start.
No, check this out.
The Red Dragon
exactly.
Inn.
ASL is kind of how it started, right? Yeah.
yes,
and I actually was 17, and we met and we chatted.
Better.
Oh yeah. She lived in Miami. She was this like, cute little Hispanic girl, and I am this, big white boy from Kentucky. So I was like, oh, this is amazing. I'm gonna go to Miami. So I literally I had $20 to my name. I had 2 cartons of cigarettes. I had all of my winter apparel, and I just left. And I went to Miami with goose down jackets and sweaters, and because it was January when I left. I think it was 0 degrees when I left Louisville, and I landed in Miami, and it was like 75. So I'm walking out, and that's kind of actually how this whole transition started. I lived down there and worked for the phone company for 5 years. I realized that I did not want to do this for the rest of my life. I was just going to be a corporate drone. So I wrote my resignation on a napkin that said that I wanted to be. Yeah, I mean, literally. Okay, so they offered me a promotion, and it was on a Friday. And I immediately said, absolutely, this is amazing. Let's do it. And it was going to be this great big deal. I was going to be a branch manager in Baton to for my career. So I said yes. And then I thought about it over the weekend, and I was like, if I do this, I'm going to be a corporate drone. Like, I'm never going to be able to get out of this because the money will be too good, and I will just not be able to get myself out of it. So I came back on Monday, and on my lunch break, I drove around, and I was just kind of listening to music, and I thought to myself, like, I'm not going to do this. So I went back and I wrote my resignation on a napkin that said, I, Matthew Rhode, hereby resign from Bell South Telecommunications, effective immediately. I want to be an actor. And then I gave it to him. Yeah. And I just left. But I went around and shook everybody's hands because I didn't want to be like, oh, just in case this acting this acting stuff doesn't work out, I'm not going to be able to, I can at least come back and have a job, So I tried to leave on good terms. And and then I packed up my stuff, moved home with my mom for a year. Lived in the basement and started playing World of Warcraft while looking for a place to study acting in New York City. Packed up, moved to New York City, went to a theater conservatory for 2 years, and graduated and started doing construction. And while I was doing construction, I was doing carpentry. I was doing freelance carpentry all over New York, and I'm also going on auditions. So the problem for me was finding a job that allowed me to have the freedom to go to auditions. If I was on a job site and it was my first day there, and they're like, okay, we're going to be offloading a truck at noon, and then we're going to go be building a set for off-Broadway shows at 2 or whatever, and my agent calls me up and says, you have an audition, I had to go. I had to be like, listen, this is my first day on the job, but I need to leave 30 minutes before lunch, and I also need to leave, and I'll be back 30 minutes after. I hope that's not a problem, So I burned bridges all over New York when it came to construction.
Wow.
So that's when I started streaming, and I never thought it was going to take off and actually be anything. I just did it for fun. And then when it became, I got partnered, I got a sub button, I realized that I could actually live my life doing that. So that's how it all happened. That was me before streaming, was just this actor running around building sets and off-Broadway shows.
Very cool.
Yeah.
So it seems like, I brought up here, like, it wasn't your plan to always be an actor when you were growing up then. It kind of, like, just, like, dawned on you? Like, kind of like this bug bit you? Or were you always, like...
It was... No, it's exactly right. It was more like I had always kind of wanted to do it, but I never, ever thought that I was going to try to do it. And I never wanted to actually do it, like, as a career. You know, I was just like, oh, it's just a cool idea. Everybody wants to be an actor, you know, be on TV and movies and stuff. It's just kind of one of those things. But I used to watch a lot of Paul Newman movies and stuff like that. So when I thought about doing it, I was like, I want to go and be like Paul Newman. You know, like that was my thought process when I was writing that resignation on a napkin. I was like, I would just want to be like Paul Newman. You know, like, damn. And that's what happened. Yeah, I never wanted to do it. I wanted to be a professional basketball player.
Really?
That's what I wanted to be. Oh yeah.
How things change.
Yeah. I got the height for it, sort of, but that, you know, obviously not the basketball skills, but whatever.
Not the basketball skills.
No, I think you need that, apparently.
Maybe. I mean, you have the height for it, I think.
6'6". I got the height.
Yeah,
I'd be the smallest in the NBA, right? Close to it, at least.
The smallest. That's right.
So it certainly sounds like you've had some ups and downs there, especially, you know, quitting your job by writing on a napkin that you're resigning. Were there times when you sort of doubted that the path that you had taken was the right one, or had you always been optimistic about working towards that goal of being an actor?
You know, I thought that when I was at the conservatory, I thought that it was going to be something that was going to be very easy for me, because people told me that when I was in the conservatory. They kind of just pump your head up with all these things while you're in there and tell you like, oh yeah, you're gonna be really successful when you get out there. You're gonna play Superman right when you get out. It's gonna be great, you know. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, it doesn't work out that way. Acting is such a difficult profession. I mean, and everything that could possibly play against you will play against you. Your height, for instance, like mine, is a problem on most sets. I mean, because of, you know, the height difference between, say, you and the lead actor, who, you know, because you can never just go and be the lead actor. You usually have to work your way up, build your resumes, you know, say a little one-liner here and there. But if you're 6'6" and the lead actor is 5'8", 5'9", they have to adjust camera angles for you, and that is you know, is time, and time is money. So, friend.
No, many people don't know this. I mean, I do, but like everyone thinks Tom Cruise is actually not as short as he is, but that man's like 5'4".
He's 5'7".
He's 5'7".
Yeah. But there are quite a few people that are like that, though, that you would think, like, you know, Robert Downey Jr. He's a smaller guy. You know, like you would think. Yeah, most people just kind of assume that he's a taller guy, but no, he's a smaller guy. I saw, oh God, what was his name? I forgot. Whatever. The guy from Goonies, Josh Brolin. Yeah, he's been in so many other things, but I know him from Goonies. But yeah, I saw Josh Brolin on the train, and I was like, dude, he's so small. Like he was, like I couldn't believe it. I was like, dude, you're Josh Brolin. You're amazing in No Country for Old Men. For old men. Good Lord. No Country.
So I imagine it's easier to make people look taller on screen than it is to make them look shorter than they really are.
Well, they just give you an Apple box.
Those Apple boxes, though. Yep.
I mean, you'll see Tom Cruise is standing on an Apple box next to somebody.
Yep.
You know. Yeah.
That movie he was just in. What is that? That movie he was with Cameron Diaz, and she's like an Amazon. All the shots behind the scenes are all like weird camera angles, and he's standing on like 2 or 3 Apple boxes. Yep. No, it looks funny, but that's how it is. No one knows because it's movie magic, right?
It is movie magic. Yeah. Movie magic. Yeah.
I mean, how do they make you know, the Hobbits so much shorter, and how do they make Gandalf so much bigger? I mean,
those camera angles, man, and a little bit of CGI.
Yeah, just a little bit.
So in this story that you were telling when you moved back home and started playing World of Warcraft, was that when you started playing WoW, or had you played WoW before that?
That was when I started. I actually played Final Fantasy 11, and I played that in Miami.
One of those. You played Final Fantasy 11. I've known many people who really liked that game.
Oh, it was great. And I mean, it was for my first MMO. I
don't understand you people.
Let me tell you, it was my first experience in an MMO. So for me, it was like the whole world was just cool to me. I was like, oh, this is great. Like my corporate job sucked. I hated it. I needed a way to like escape and kind of get away from it. And that's how I used that game. I came home on the weekends, and Friday night, I would be exhausted from working the entire week, but I just couldn't wait to start playing Final Fantasy when I got home. So I played Final Fantasy until like, I don't know, 12-1, and I just couldn't keep my eyes open any longer. but I would sleep for like 7-8 hours, wake up, 7-8 in the morning, and just start playing Final Fantasy all day, for my Saturday. Oh yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
We all know that feeling. Definitely,
Yeah.
all of us MMO people. I mean, WoW wasn't the first MMO for a lot of us. Did you play the more recent Final Fantasy then?
I did. I played 14. I played it for a while too. I should say I played it for a few months, and I enjoyed it starting off, but then it just kind of faded away,
Yeah, I hear it's much better now. I started playing it right when it first came out because definitely, I mean, it's got the Final Fantasy feel to it, and if you like Final Fantasy games, especially if you started, a lot of people I know who really liked 11 started playing it, but
I mean, it's
didn't launch too well.
No, I think that was the biggest problem was the launch.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that A Realm Reborn should have actually been Final Fantasy 14.
The real game.
And
yes.
a real game, yeah. And then then A Realm Reborn could have been the their first expansion or something. I think, whatever. But yeah, it was just a bummer the way that they dropped that game. But yeah, I mean, I started playing World of Warcraft. It was interesting because I actually stopped playing Final Fantasy because that's when I was like, all right, I'm leaving Miami. I'm going home to be an actor. I can't play any more MMOs. If I do that, my life will be over. I'm just going to be living in a basement,
Uh-huh.
Interestingly enough,
But
I was.
you were
living
moving into a basement.
Yeah.
You were moving into a basement. You didn't.
Wait. I had a choice, all right? I could have not lived in a basement, but I chose to because there was more space and it was cooler. Like literally, temperature-wise, it was cooler. It was nice.
Okay, you. All right.
Mom had to yell louder to get your attention when it was dinner time.
Or meatballs.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Speaking of your mother, real quick, she was just in town, and not to like put her on the spot, but she's actually kind of like an integral part of your live stream, right? Like she actually comes on. I know I've been watching her stream before when she's in Skype, and you guys talk about everything. So like, talk on that real quick. Like, what is that for your family now that you're sort of in this realm? Like, what's the support like for them? What's the thoughts from their point of view? You think?
They love it. My mother's a subscriber. My brother is a subscriber. My brother's a mod in the stream. So is my mom. I just figured that way if they saw anything they didn't like, they could just get rid of it. Although I don't think they both know how to do that at all. But to have them both be a part of it is actually really amazing because I never thought that this would do anything for me. Like I never thought that this was gonna I never thought I'd be even interviewed for anything. You know what I mean? Like this is me playing video games. We're fine. Yeah, no, it's totally fine. I wore pants for this. But
I like that you had to check though.
You never know. These jeans are far too tight. I don't really know. It's skin. It's skin. But yeah, they call her Mama Duck because she's just such an important part of my life. She's been the biggest support in my entire life. I mean, even when I decided that I was going to quit my corporate job for acting that day, I mean, she's like, come home. She's like, come and live with me. I haven't been home in 5 years, and she's like, come back. You can stay here until you figure out what you want to do, and I support you. And so when I told her I was going to be playing video games, and just trying to make people laugh and have a good time, she was just like, this is great. This is exactly what you need to be doing. You need to be entertaining people and giving just throwing out positivity because I try to keep a positive stream, and she loves that. Although I do swear a lot, which she doesn't.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Well, what are you gonna do? I cuss like a sailor. I'm keeping it PG-13 for you.
You couldn't even.
I don't
you
even
did.
do it for my own mother, but I do it for you.
Yeah, exactly. No, we appreciate it.
It sounds like that family support is a really big part of your support network. Then, and especially when you had to quit your job and sort of went off on your own.
Oh yeah, and luckily, I mean, I had made enough money while I was there to still have some money while I went home and I stayed for a year. So it wasn't like I just kind of flipped everything over on her, with not having a job and her helping me out. Although she did. I mean, when I went to go, she took loans out. She co-signed loans for me so that I could come here to study acting. I mean, because I couldn't do it by myself. My credit was destroyed, and it was just she helped me so much. So even with this, I mean, she comes on. Yesterday she was here. She was hosting the show for the first 10-15 minutes. Oh yeah. And and then later on we're playing music and dancing, and it's just like it's so important for me to have that kind of support. Absolutely.
That's really awesome. I mean, I've definitely tried to explain World of Warcraft and the show and everything that I do to my family. I'm pretty sure everybody who plays WoW as seriously as we and many of the watchers of the show do have had that conversation at some point. It's a little bit easier now that I have a life and a career, and so I can say, I do this on the evenings, and I'm part of the community, and I work really hard and all this different stuff. But I just remember many awkward conversations where, to my parents' credit, they tried really hard to understand. But I just don't know. Explaining rating to people is very difficult. So I'm a little jealous that your mom and your brother are so involved. I wish I could get family involved.
My brother knows nothing about the game. My mother knows more about it simply because I lived with her, and so there was a joke. She would buy me beer and honey buns, and I would go down to the basement and I would eat beer or eat honey buns and drink beer. And she was like, she'd come downstairs and she'd be like, she does ballroom dancing, and she'd be like, Matthew, can I show you my new dance move? And I'm like, Mom, I'm in a dungeon, like I can't right now. Like, I can't do this. And so she actually made me a shirt and sent it to me. And it was because she remembers this. She's got quite an interesting memory. There was a quest that was in Ratchet, and it was called Trouble at the Docks, and it was a Lobby quest. And I was doing that particular quest line when my mom came downstairs one time, and I said, Mom, there's trouble at the docks. I can't right now. And so she sent me a shirt that says, and I have it in the other room, it says Ducksauce, Trouble at the Docks, and so she made it and sent it to me, and then she even made another one like with a different kind of font. Just it's great. I mean, she doesn't understand anything about the game, but she knows that I get excited, and she knows that people are entertained by it, which is why she's so so it's a beautiful thing.
That's family support right there. Doesn't matter if they're interested in it or not. If you're interested in it and it makes you happy, then that makes them happy. That's
exactly.
Really cute.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think my parents have watched the Trivia Pursuit episode, but have no idea what they're watching. But they just thought it was fun, right? That's all they know. So it's
that's a pretty good one for people to watch who aren't like really into all the technical stuff about WoW too.
Yeah, so. It's fair. So then, I guess, again on that now, so how long have you been working towards this actor goal of yours now, Matthew? How many years have you put on the pavement, as it were?
Well, I came to New York in 2006, and I started going to the conservatory then. I graduated in 2008. I was one of the only people, actually I was the only person that had a commercial agent before I graduated from this conservatory. So it was amazing to have that opportunity to at least go out for auditions. However, the auditions were commercial auditions and voiceover auditions and some print modeling stuff. I never booked the print stuff. I was too tall. And the voiceover stuff, I only booked a few things because my voice wasn't quite, or I wasn't quite experienced enough in the voiceover field to really know how to even use my voice, which you learn over the years, which I have. But the commercials was an interesting thing. I booked 2 commercials, I think. I booked a JCPenney commercial and a Powerade commercial. And that was my biggest achievement all the way up until I finally got what they call a legit agent, which is a TV, film, and theater agent. And I got that about a year ago. And so from that time, from 1 year ago, auditioning for TV, film, and theater, I've actually booked 3 different things through that agency now, which is amazing. So, I mean, little things, little one-liners. There was a TV show called Bad Advice from My Brother, which was on Comedy Central. And then another one on... it hasn't aired yet. It's called Dangerous Liaisons, and it's on ABC. And little one-liners here, and then a short film, and it's a tough business. But although I've been doing it since 2006, really, I've only been auditioning for the last year.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like really, because without that agency, it's really difficult. Like you have to have representation to get these auditions. You can't just go and I get messages from people like, dude, you should be in the Warcraft movie. Why aren't you? Why aren't you auditioning for that?
Yeah.
I'm like if it was that easy, man, I'd be just like, hey, put me in your movie right now.
Yeah.
But it's not like that. You have to have representation that will at least get that audition for you. Then they have to even accept you for that audition. And they sometimes don't do that based on your credits alone. So, if you haven't been in anything that they would know of, they're like, nah, we'll wait it out. We'll find somebody else.
It's a long ladder unless you're at the right place at the right time or you already know somebody.
That's it. Knowing somebody, which sucks, I don't
Which
know anybody.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, come on. I want to be like, oh yeah, Steven Spielberg's my dad. This is great. No, it doesn't. Yeah, it's exactly right though. You have to know somebody, and it's a bummer because I don't. I'm working on that though. Got to get out and network a little bit, so.
Do you think, actually just randomly thinking about that, do you think that it being, I know you're moving in the future, but you think that being in New York has actually been a hindrance and you should be on the West Coast for this right now? You wish you were earlier? I
don't actually. It's because of the New York training. if you have New York training and then you go over to LA, it's highly sought after. That particular artist is because of the New York training. So, and I wanted to build my resume. I also wanted to get on Law and Order, which is kind of a rite of passage for a New York streamer. A New York streamer. Good Lord, a New York actor.
New York actor, yeah.
I looked in chat and I saw streamer and I'm like, no. So,
I have two of my college friends who went off to New York to pursue acting. Had like little tiny bit parts, like just an extra type thing on Law and Order. So I know that's that's exactly right. Like if you go over to LA and you've done Law and Order, you can book things, or you can go to these auditions. They're like, oh, he's been on Law and Order, or oh, she's been on Law and Order. It's totally fine. We'll bring you in for whatever. But unfortunately, I haven't even had an audition for Law and Order yet, and it's not. It's usually because like you're also typecast when you go out into these places. It's like if they don't want someone that's 6.5 feet tall, you're not going to go in. It's very specific for me, which is unfortunate. So, yeah. But I think that New York has been positive for me, or better for me actually, simply because you're a bigger fish in a smaller pond. You have better training, and you have a lot of opportunities to shoot pilots and things like that. Simply because there's so many more things that are being shot here in New York and filmed here in comparison to years past. So most of the things were done over in LA. Now it's kind of branched out over to the East Coast. Yeah.
Oh, interesting. So then how do you deal? I guess, how do you deal with the stress of trying to find gigs? I know you talked about it before on your own stream, but what is the feeling of being rejected and keeping going back out there? What do you do to keep pushing forward? Really, because it also ties into it's almost like a little bit of you to say people that want to be actors in the future here. What have you dealt with now, and how to deal with it, so that they can kind of prepare themselves? So what do you do? I had a problem dealing with that at first, because when I left the conservatory and they pumped me up so much, they're like, yeah, you're going to get this, you're going to get that, like I was saying before. And then it didn't happen. I was like, what is wrong? I must suck as an actor. That's what it is. I must suck. But at the end of the day, there are so many things that are out of your control. And one of the best things that I heard was one of the viewers from my stream sent it over to me. And it was Bryan Cranston giving advice to up-and-coming actors, to new actors or whatever. And he was saying that you can only go and just do the best job that you can do and then leave it at that. He's like, because there's so many things that are out of your control at that point. He's, when it comes to, for instance, say the casting director doesn't like your look because you remind him of a bully from when he was 12. That is something that actually happens. People will not cast you because you look like somebody they don't like. Wow.
And even though you could do an amazing job in the audition, if they don't like the way you look, or there's something about you that they don't like, they're like, nah, we'll get somebody else. So you just kind of have to roll with it. You just have to let it all bounce off of you. And I think that having gone through a lot of the rejection that I have with acting, it's kind of transitioned over into streaming and allowed me to handle a lot of the negativity that happens to come across sometimes on the internet,
Oh, see, that's interesting, because I know there is a whole lot of negativity. I guess Twitch chat has a not the greatest reputation for being positive and supportive. So that is interesting to hear that you've, because you had to deal with rejection as you were auditioning, that you let it all roll off you, the criticism and such.
Yeah, I mean, there is a lot that happens but it's weird. If you get rid of it in your broadcast, then as best as you can, then you really have a fighting chance to keep everything positive. Ban people, block people, whatever you need to do. But there's so much real support that's on there. I mean, I was telling somebody earlier, you can't even go by the numbers anymore. You got there's over 3,000 people that are subscribed in my stream, and my views sometimes are 12, 13, 14, 1,500, 2,000, and there's 1,000 more people that actually pay money every month. You know what I mean? And so while there is the negativity that's out there, there's also a lot of positivity, and you just have to make sure that you're, embracing that, right?
Like Arthas is embracing you.
I found that too. I find that's the funny thing. Sorry, Twitch chat, if you were offended by when I said that. People definitely tell me oh, Twitch chat, it's not very positive. But then I've definitely found that the Final Boss TV viewers have been great as a whole. I mean, I ban some of them. I'm time out some of you guys if you say stuff that I don't like.
Sure,
but just overall, I've actually really enjoyed interacting with viewers and such on chat, and I found it to be a pretty positive experience when I expected it not to be. So there you go, viewers, because I know chat was kind of like, oh, Anna, why are you saying mean things about us? And I'm like, no, I actually really like all of you, except for the ones who I time out. You guys I don't really like as much.
That's what I say too. I'm always like, I'm super positive with everybody else, like with all the cool people. But like the second that you're kind of a weirdo and you're just being nothing but negative, it's I hate you almost. Well, I mean, you just
can't let those people get to you, and then you got to focus on you focus on the ones who are positive and who are great to interact with and who make it fun to stream.
Yeah, make it fun, right? Exactly. Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, I know each different streamer and personality, and even to myself, I've been a live streamer for like 2 years prior to this as well. You find the same names that pop in all the time. And, like, you almost feel after a point, you're streaming for them. Those are, like, almost like your online friends. Like, they're your other family, right? Like, you stream to play games with them. Because they're playing their game, you're playing your game, you're giving them commentary, they're talking to you, you're talking back to them. It's no different than, like, you all sitting around on a couch in someone's living room playing video games together, too.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, even when I come on and you just see the people, like, first thing in the morning, they're like, good morning, Matthew, good morning. And they're all saying good morning to each other. It's on a first name basis. It's just, it's like that. It's not even by their handle online. It's just who they are in life. You know what I mean? And I think that's one of the most wonderful things that you can have in a broadcast, because if you get the negativity out, that's what you have left. Like that's the stuff that's left over. And so I mean, it's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing, and it's rare to find it on Twitch these days. Mm-hmm. It is. It's rare to find a nice stream where you can go in that's not in sub mode, and you can actually have a conversation with somebody. It's rare.
That's how it is. So I'll bring up a question real quick we had here. We have a couple questions that we'll go throughout the show. And for those that don't know, that are new to the show, whenever we have episodes on, and of course all the past episodes we have on YouTube and stuff like that, you can always send in your questions. Just at FinalBossTV, links down below to ask a boss. You can ask whatever you want for the classes coming up or for the special guests we have. Say, for example, we have a really awesome one next week that might interest you. We'll talk about that a little later in the show. But just FinalBossTV has all of our information on it, all of our past episodes, all of our podcast-only versions, all the good stuff up there. So you can go just submit a question. So the first question we have comes in from, where is it? There it is. Comes in from Galasa on US Mugthal. And it was, what has been your favorite acting gig or project thus far, Monsieur Duck?
That is an easy one. And it's a great question. It has been The Kings of Yorktown. And that was a low-budget independent film that I shot in 2009. And because of the success of the stream, it has made that it got picked up for distribution. It is now on Amazon. It is on Hulu. It's on iTunes. And it actually shot up at one point to one of the top 3,000 movies in the entire world because of how much it was searched for at one time on the internet, which is insane. Yeah,
I gotta link this then.
Yeah, okay. Well, yeah, it's if you look up Hulu, it's called The Kings of Yorktown, and you can watch it for free. I think you can only watch it in the States for free. I don't really know. Somebody had mentioned that. So, but yeah, it's that was I had learned the most on that. It was an environment that I knew, where I knew pretty much everybody on the set. And well, I didn't at first, but after being with them for so long, you just know who they are, and they're. It's amazing to work with people like that are just like-minded and positive, and you just learn so much. You learn things about cameras and shots that you didn't really know about before. Which you can take. Yeah, you're like, oh, this is this is a single shot, up close, tight. Don't move or whatever. And so you can't, because you're just like. You can't move, because if you do, if you move like that, you're gone. You're out of the whole entire camera. They can't see you. Yeah, you're gone. So, and I'm so animated. That was my thing. I had to tone everything down very low. It's okay. Everything's fine. Yeah. I will be all right. No coffee for him in the morning. No. Because he's just going to be jittery and bouncing all over the place. Yeah. But absolutely, The Kings of Yorktown. That was my favorite project to work on, just because I think I learned the most, honestly. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I think that might be a thing too, working on the smaller indie kind of low budget films, because you have to do so much with so little, right? Mm-hmm. So there's so many people that have to work more than they have to on those kind of projects as well, and you really have to all band together, and no one can slack off. You get a huge, multi-million dollar
too.
Labor of love. That's true too.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yep.
It's funny that you said that too, because we had some things that we called little happy accidents where or what I don't know if you've ever seen the movie. Oh God, what was it? It was something 8. what's that old type of camera? The 8
Super
something.
8? Super 8?
Super 8. Thanks, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Super 8. The kid was like, production value. He's screaming production value.
Yep.
Okay, well, we had so much additional production value that we added to the stream because of these little happy accidents. Like, for instance, there was a guy that was... we didn't really know who this guy was in this area where we were shooting. We were shooting in an old bank, and it was 2 in the morning, and the doors were locked. And so this guy, this questionable man, comes up and he's like pointing and counting how many people are in the bank, like this. He's just like this, very crazy looking guy. And so the ladies that were there decided that they wanted to call the cops. We were just like, that's a great idea. Let's do it. Wonderful. So we called them, and the cops came. And while we were there, the director was like, would you mind arresting this guy over here and put him in the back of your car? Would that be cool? Because we could really use
Would you arrest this guy?
Yeah, and so it was like one of the guys was just like screaming and getting thrown into the back of the cruiser, and and normally to have that kind of thing, I mean, it would just be thousands and thousands of dollars to get a cop car with a cop to come out and or whatever. So we had all these little happy accidents that happened. So while there was a lot of things that we needed to. You had to work very hard because you couldn't. I mean, I got paid $300 for that, and we were there for. I did that for months. We were there in that bank for about a week, and then shooting for an additional week after that, and then picking up little added shots, over the next couple of months. So it was quite a bit for the $7,000. Got a lot in there, I should say.
Wow. Yeah. Absolutely.
Wow.
Oof. Yep.
That sounds awesome. I did link it in chat so that people can check it out. At least it looks like the website for the movie has the links that are relevant. Yeah. Sorry, it sounds like people outside the U.S. can't watch it, but try and do your best. I'll link it again there.
I'm sure they'll figure something out. Yeah, they can find it some way. They say you can get on Amazon or iTunes, so you can just buy it up there. Yeah, do it. See Mr. Rhode acting and not just being interviewed on our show. But so I guess
here's another question.
Yeah,
then.
Go for it.
Oh. Do you want to go ahead, Bae?
Go for it. Go, Anna. Go.
All right. I win. Ladies first.
Ladies first.
So where is it that... So tell me about some of your goals, at least short-term or long-term. Where do you want to end up? What are you looking forward to in the future?
In terms of streaming or acting or what? Just in general?
Both. Go for acting first, but streaming as well, because I know there are a lot of fans in here who love your stream. Yeah.
Well, the acting part, what my plan is right now is to get 2 additional credits on my resume here in New York. Whether they be even little one-liners, whatever it is, just 2 additional credits on my resume, and then heading out west. Simply because I have the luxury of being able to move my job without really having a break. I mean, it's just I can up and leave in like a day or 2. You know what I mean? And just start streaming over there. Just get everything set up before I go, and the transition should be pretty simple. So that's my plan, acting-wise, to continue to network like I have been, audition for the things that I can, and in terms of streaming, streaming has actually always been just a means to an end. Streaming has never really been my main goal in life. I never really wanted to stream even as long as I have now. I grew to love streaming more than I ever thought that I would. Yeah, it turned once I even got the microphone. I think it switched everything. I was like, well, hello, this is crazy. I sound weird now. I started.
Yeah, I just got my mic 2 weeks ago. I know how that works.
You're like playing around with it off stream. You're like, good morning. Yes. You just sound, it sounds so cool.
That's how Anna sounds.
I sound exactly like
that. Just like that. That's how
absolutely
wake up.
Just like that.
Okay. All right.
Not quite.
I need to hear these recordings. This is great. No, but yeah, when it changed, when I got the microphone and stuff, I just kind of really thought about making it into more of a broadcast instead of just me playing video games, actually kind of a show, and so for that, I want to continue on with that. I want to continue to grow it as much as I can, ultimately before it switches from Ducksauce to Matthew Rhode, and I think that's going to be the transition. I think it's going to go from Ducksauce to Matthew Rhode. And I just have a feeling that's
well, you've got a fan base to take with you when you make that transition.
Absolutely.
So.
Oh yeah. And that's, I mean, I don't even think that I would, I mean, just getting the opportunities that I'm getting now to act, I honestly think that some of it is because of streaming. A lot of it, I think, is because there's just I say fan base, but I never say fans. I always feel like it just implies fanatics. I always say just viewers and friends, and we just chill and stuff. Cause
I like that. Viewers and friends.
Yeah, But yeah, I mean, there's just so much support is the way I really like to put it that's out there because of streaming. And it's transitioned over into acting, and I think that because of like the Twitter follows and Instagram stuff, it's just casting directors that Google your name might see that and might be like, oh, well, why does this guy have like thousands of people? Like, it's weird, let's check him out. So yeah.
Well, you and I Googled you last night, and apparently Final Boss is like taken over because you get more Final Boss pictures than you do Duck pictures. I don't understand it. I was so blown away. I don't know what it would be because
It's SEO, man.
it's because you hacked into the mainframe and rerouted the encryption. I'm convinced.
One of our mods might have done that. I don't know. Don't know. So let's move us along then. Since we talk a little bit more about your struggling acting and being a starving actor in the 21st century, a film world. So, what does a day in the life of Matthew Rhode look like? I know now you've made some YouTube videos before about what it looks like, but I don't know if that was a little farcical or not. So, walk us through what you do on your normal day-to-day kind of deal. Like, what do you do every day, Matthew?
Well, it's funny because unless I'm auditioning, which it hasn't been happening that much lately because pilot season's over. So it's been a little downtime in that. My day consists of waking up in the morning. Now, let me just take a step back here for a second.
Sure.
I used to do the news segment on my broadcast. I say used to because I haven't done it like I should be doing it. And it's just because I'm just a lazy man. There's no other reason. I'm being honest, but I've been very lazy. Because I wake up in the morning and I would do an extra like hour and a half in the morning of like going over the news and trying to make people laugh and stuff like that, right? So I used to wake up at around 7:30 in the morning, and I would broadcast at 10, and I would use all of that time to wake up, make sure my voice is alive, get a shower, have some coffee, and go over the news. Now I wake up at like 8:39, right?
Oh, no.
And I don't do the news, but I'm going to do the news. It's coming back. Like I miss it, and a lot of people miss it, and you gotta cater to them. So I wake up in the morning. I will broadcast until like 1:32. I will take my dog out. As you can see, he's here, right, pup? Okay, go get it. And I will I'll go to the gym for a while. That's kind of my thing. Like I need to use that time to clear my head and throw some Buicks, is what we used to say in the channel. That whole "do you even lift" thing. You guys remember that? Mm-hmm. Do you know? Do you even lift?
Yes,
no
of course.
Of
course.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Oh, okay. I was like, you have no idea.
No.
Well, when they used to come into the channel, we would say we'd like time people out for saying that, and because it was the most annoying thing ever, and they just said it all the time. So we would time people out and then say, no, it's "do you even Buick?" So I go to the gym, I throw some Buicks around, I get my little snack from my restaurant that I like, and then I come back home and I try to figure out what I'm going to do acting-wise. And I usually sit in front of the computer and I will email people, I will contact my agent, I will look for castings on my own, I will do all the things that I can. I will also try to do networking for Ducksauce. I'll respond on my, I'm pointing over here, you can't really see what I'm doing, but there's, my tweet deck is open over there, so I look at that and I tweet out and I respond to a lot of messages. That's kind of what my life is like. And I usually get to bed at around midnight. Other than that, when I'm auditioning, I try to make sure that I can schedule my auditions after the broadcast.
Okay.
For me, it's the best. Yeah. And that's one of the beautiful things about streaming is that since I stream for that period of time in the morning, it's always set. Like I always know what my schedule is. When I would do construction, I never knew where I was going to be if I had a job at all. So I was always like, oh, I don't know. Yeah, sure, I can make that audition. And then it's like I'd have a job the next day and it would just, there'd just be a conflict. So with this, I just try to make sure that I schedule my auditions after 2 p.m. That's my life right now.
I see.
Right now.
Right.
Day in the life of Duck. Okay, I see it.
Exactly. But once, I think once it's going to switch up a little bit when I go out to California. I think that it's going to continue to be the same thing, streaming in the morning, whatever. But I think there's going to be much more networking involved for acting.
Do you get a lot of viewers in the morning on that morning stream?
Oh yeah. If I try to stream at any other time, the views it's half. It's half of the views that I get in the morning. Mm-hmm. So like in the morning, it'll be it really fluctuates these days. There's so many view bots that are on, so it's like it's ridiculous. Like you don't know so they just flood somewhere else. It's weird. But yeah, anywhere between like maybe 2,000 I think is on average about what I get these days. About 2,000 in the morning. A little more, a little less sometimes. Yeah, it's great. It's amazing.
You think it's like people listening to you at work and such?
That's exactly what it is. It's people that are people listen to my show more than they watch it. And it's more of like a talk radio to them, stories from my past, interacting with the views, or with the viewers and talking about whatever's going on in the channel. Like they can't even type because they're just working,
Yeah.
So it's mostly like a little talk radio, I think, which is great.
Yeah,
I
that
love
makes a lot of sense. I know a lot of people can't really sit there and watch videos at work. At least I can't, but listening is always an option. So,
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, it's funny because if maybe they have a two monitor setup, they'll be kind of, not really watching the stream, but listening to it on one monitor while playing a little WoW or whatever game they're playing on the other one. No big deal,
Exactly.
Just
Man, I
killing
wish
a
my
little
morning
time.
went like that. Yeah, I'll get out, play a little WoW, do a little
I
farming, check all my auctions. No.
I know.
No, and you have like a regiment you do with your WoW time, right? Like when you log in, you do certain things, like certain days of the week. Like you do your mount farm, you do your black market auction house. Like all the different things you do. I've noticed people like come in like, what is this guy doing? He just does the same crap over and over and over again. But they don't realize that it's more than the content you're playing. But what are the things you actually keep doing in WoW all the time? Like what are you still like going for in World of Warcraft?
I love mounts. I love them. I don't even go for like farming the ones that I don't care about the numbers, how many mounts I have. I just want the most rare. That's what I want. So I can fly around on it and be like, ha 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 ha.
And then have everybody else look at your mount and be like, man, I really wish that I had that. That guy is so cool. He's got a mount that I don't have.
Totally. I need that kind of recognition. I need that, and I need that from people. Otherwise, I feel sorry, I'm just, oh God, No, but like, I just enjoy it. I think it's great. And, so like Invincible and Memoron's Head and Ashes of Valar and Onyxie and Drake, like those are my favorite 4 that I have. And like, everybody's like, what? How do you have all 4? It's like, I wouldn't have those if it wasn't for the stream. I would never have those because I go into these places and I'm like, you guys know I'm going to steal the mount when it drops, right? They're like, yeah, totally. It's fine. Take it. And I'm like, this is amazing. I didn't know I could do that. Like you guys are the best. So, so I do that. But I do, I have this new addiction, which is the black market auction house containers.
Oh, you're one of those. You get the containers. You roll the dice.
And I've gotten some cool stuff, let me tell you. I have gotten.
What is the coolest thing that you've gotten out of there?
I got the Plagued Proto Drake.
Oh, that's actually a really cool mount. That's a really rare one.
You can't get it anymore. Exactly. And I just was sitting there and it was on stream and I was just like, boop. And I paid 50,000 gold for it. And by the way, I wish I had farming tips, but mine is, can I borrow some gold? You guys.
That's your farming tip, apparently.
I gotta try that one.
Yeah, just give it a shot. Next time you guys are like broadcasting and you're just playing some WoW or something, just be like, do you guys have any gold that I could borrow? And then just be like, I'm never gonna pay you back. Sorry guys. No, but people I swear, people just give me gold and I love it because I tell them exactly what it's for. It's for my gambling addiction. It is what it is. Are you doing?
Wow, I feel like we're
seeing
like the secret reason why you stream here.
It's so that I can get black market auction house containers. Yeah, it's exactly what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
That actually, it's funny you bring that up because we had a question that came in. We had a question that comes in from Maha Brando on Arthas.
Oh Lord.
Have you ever thought about seeking professional help for your unclaimed black market auction house container addiction?
Well, when you're right, you're right. All right, I know I have an addiction. I get it. And my professional help is just going to be when I turn my stream off. That's it. That's it's going to nip it in the bud right then and there. I'm not going to be bidding or gambling when the stream is off. How's that? It's only while the stream is active for 3.5, 4 hours out of the day is really going to be the only time I'm going to allow myself to spend obscene amounts of money on things that just don't matter. Yeah. So how's that, Brando?
It's fake money.
How is that?
Right? Yeah.
Brando? Yeah. Okay.
God.
Oh.
So what is your favorite mount then, since you're a mount collector?
Ooh.
It's one that I
love mounts too, so I want to know.
Oh, you do too. Okay.
Yes.
There's 2 that I can't get, and it's the heavenly onyx, or what is it? The heavenly cloud onyx serpent, or what? I don't know which one it is. Heavenly onyx cloud serpent. Is that what it is?
Are you talking about the one from Achievements last? No, that was the pterodactyl. Is it the one from
Shaw? It's from Shaw. Shaw, the one that's out, the world boss Shaw. That nobody farms it.
I like all of the Heaven Cloud Serpents myself.
It's that one because you can. It's from the the loot once a week, and you can never get it. And it's got one of the lowest drop rates. That's one of them. It just simply because of the low drop chance is the reason why I like it, because of the rarity of the mount. It has nothing to do with I probably wouldn't even use that. You know what I mean? Like I'd have it, but probably the love rocket.
No, well, because that doesn't.
See, the best part about that is that you can kick people off of it, like in midair is the best thing.
The love rocket, you know? Yeah, that's the one. It's pink and hardly anybody has it, and it's beast. I would totally rock it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, Heavenly Onyx Cloud Serpent. That's what Nax said.
I do have to say that I kind of love having some of those rare raid mounts like before a lot of other people have them. I mean, it's not like I'm the first in the game to get any of them, you know, not in like Blood Legion or Method, but we're certainly the first on the server.
Oh, sure.
And yeah, the mount that I love the most was probably the Firebird from Heroic Rag. And I got the roll on like the second week that we killed him, and I screenshot myself on that mount, and it like sparkles, like the sparkles come off of it. Oh. And I transmogged into the tier with like a big flamey sword, and I just took like 20 screenshots, and I used it as my Twitter avatar for 2 years.
It's probably one of the best mounts in the game. I think just the way that it looks, it's amazing. I wish I had it. I can't have it. Can I borrow it for a little bit? Just I'll give
borrow it.
We'll trade mounts. It's totally fine.
Sure, yeah, he'll definitely give it back after all that gold he borrowed.
Yeah. No. Oh, what? I'll give you my Tawny Windrider. How's that?
Oh, we actually had an app come into the guild who was a really hardcore raider a long time ago. She was in Jug, and then but she wasn't playing recently, and we brought her in, and she's awesome. But she missed normal Garrosh because we were killing heroic Garrosh at that point, and that wolf that comes off of normal Garrosh is really cool. It's one of my favorite ground mounts. I think it looks really pretty, and she never got it because we never killed normal Garrosh. So you have to kill it on normal. You can't. It doesn't count on flex. So.
That sucks.
Yeah, we'll get it for her at some point. I just
eventually.
thought that was
yeah, right. It's just bad luck. That's what that is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Alrighty. Oh gosh. I'll move that little words of wisdom here to a little bit later. But right now, I'm gonna take a quick little moment. Oh, let me do this. I want to take a quick moment to tell everybody about some awesome communities that we work with behind the scenes, or other people on the internet that do content creation that you may not have heard of, and that I will now plug in your face. So these are important things right here, right? All right, so if you haven't heard about what this awesome website is coming out called Sentry Totem, SentryTotem.com is run by Tickle Totem, who is now the new manager of Totem Spot, which is only a shaman website, but Sentry Totem has no ties to only being shaman. Like Icy Veins isn't only mages, right? So there's a whole bunch of new stuff on here. There's awesome articles and posts. There's us with our little Zarheim and Salsa interview. And yeah, you should go to the big thing about Sentry Totem is that you guys will be able to submit and get your characters audited by people on their amazing staff of experts, which I always go to the website and plug it on the stream and then it crashes. Okay, there we go. So when you're able to put yourself in, and you can get even Anna's on the show here. We got Bink, we got Ariel, a whole bunch of awesome high-end raiders that will be able to give you feedback directly on your characters. It'll be really good going into the future with Warlords of Draenor, right? So you guys can go bookmark SentryTotem.com, check them out, and you can always check out all the other content on there. And if you want some more lore content behind the scenes here, you can go check out Nobble the Noble on YouTube. His YouTube is Nobble87. He makes lore videos primarily on World of Warcraft. He also does Q&As where he answers tons of different questions submitted to him. He has a lot of stuff coming out. He confirmed today earlier on his personal stream that he will be doing a War Crimes breakdown when the new book comes out to update all the lore and the character stuff for WoW. Just the story of Terran Zoo a little while ago. It's just tons of stuff. Story of Archimonde. He also did Kill Jaden. Just really, really great things. He did a huge 10-part thing with DD guides. 10 parts, I think, right? Yeah. Talking about tons of different stuff from World of Warcraft. So go check out Nobble on YouTube. And then if you want something a little different with World of Warcraft content, you can get original parodies, songs, and covers of WoW-themed music by Silver Latomi. It's just Silver Latomi on YouTube. She puts out a video a week, and she already has a ton of songs. I think she has like 40-something songs or more already posted on here. So either original work or parodies of different songs, mishmash together. She had a really cool one that came out a while ago where she did a Frozen cover, and then she also did one that was about Garrosh, which is a parody from Gaston from Beauty and the Beast. Really cool stuff. If you guys like some WoW-themed music, go check her out on the YouTubes as well. Then, of course, everything about Final Boss is right on our website down below at FinalBossTV. You can find us right there. We have our stream, our episodes. If you want to listen to the show only as an audio version, you can do that as well. We're also on iTunes and Stitcher. Our cast and crew is right there. And, of course, if you do feel a little generous, you can help us out with all of our show upgrades and our costs. You can go to the donate button right over here. And we actually do give kickbacks for people that donate. We have wristbands and then custom t-shirts you can get with your name on them. And of course, we have little screenshots down here that look all nice. If you do attend BlizzCon this year, we definitely are going to be going. So if you want to nab yourself up some Final Boss stuff, you can do that at BlizzCon as well. And we appreciate everyone that's helped us out last year. Anna and I are both rocking some of our upgrades. I've got going on. I've got almost all the upgrades ready to go on the system for me. They'll be ready for the show next week. But again, thank you guys very much for all of that. It really helps us out and gives us a better show to put on for you guys to keep having on awesome guests. This one today is more of a community episode. Normally our content consists of interviewing pro players, and you can see on our YouTube page that we've covered almost every class. A couple are left, and we are going back through and doing Distant Holy Priests again, and Warlocks. And I'll confirm it. Sparkhogs will be here. If you can freak out about that, that's fine. That's good. He will be here. We don't know who the other Warlock will be with him, but we will see Sparkhog again. But let's talk more about our guest today. Matthew, you ready for this?
Oh, no. Uh-oh.
Are you ready?
Were we not going to talk about who we're getting on next week as well?
Well, you can plug it now if you want, Anna, if you like. Go for it. Who's on the show next week?
Because I'm really excited. Hey, since you're talking about shows that are coming up,
yes.
Next week on the show, you guys all need to make sure to be here because we are interviewing Ian Hazakostas, a.k.a. Watcher. He was lead encounter designer when you saw him at BlizzCon. He's lead game designer now, and he's going to answer all of our rating questions. So especially if you're here and enjoying our community episode here, but wanting a little bit more of a rating focus, that is going to be happening next week. And I want everyone here because this is the interview that I have wanted to do for the last 6 months. And it's going to be really exciting. So make sure that you come back and see that next week. Ian Hazakostas, Watcher on Twitter, Watcher Dev.
Yeah. It should be an awesome show, actually, and he has a whole bunch of new information breaking within this week.
Oh
right?
yeah,
This
he's
week
got
coming
new
up.
info for us.
So and we're gonna be breaking down all of that stuff and talking to him more about all that changes on next Sunday's show on May the 4th. Be with you. So same time next week, 4 p.m. and 10 CET for those of you that are across the pond.
And make sure that you submit your questions too, just before we move off this topic. We have a lot to ask him about, but we definitely want to make sure that we ask y'all's questions as well. So go ahead and submit them to us. I'll link the Ask a Boss in the chat in a moment here. I'll have to pull it up first.
It's right down below, actually. It's right down. There's a button for it. There's a button for it right down below the stream.
There's a button
all
for it?
of our
Oh, right,
social
yeah.
media is right down there. Our Facebook, our YouTube, our Twitter, our website, all that stuff's down there. Yep, and all of our communities that we talk to represent. But maybe I'll have to get a duck face on there somewhere in the future. Just a little duck face. The one we have right next to you right now. You can't see it unless you have the stream up. But it's right there.
I do. What I have it paused.
Oh, perfect. Fine, that's
Yeah.
fine. You'll see it
Otherwise,
later.
it would wig me out. It would be like 40-second delay, and it'd be like,
Yeah, it would be. I hope the delay's not that bad, but that's true.
it's pretty gnarly for me. I don't know. Maybe it's better for you.
No,
Yeah.
the delay's like 30 seconds. It's really long.
Ugh,
Yeah. It's bananas. I never liked the way they did that, but I get why they did it, but I never really appreciated it.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, let's go back to the topic of the day, which is your stream. And I have a question for you that I have been wondering ever since I first saw your stream.
I'm ready.
Where in the world did the name Ducksauce come from?
It's really not even. You're gonna be disappointed when you hear it. I had a roommate. It's simple. I had a roommate. Well, actually, I had 3 of them. And there were 2 things that were on the table. There was a packet of duck sauce and there was a Diet Snapple. And so I named one character Ducksauce and one character Diet Snapple, and I have both characters still to this day, and they are both now named Ducksauce. That's it. There's nothing special about it. And it sucks. I wish that there was something like, when I was a kid, like I slipped and fell on this thing and it was Ducksauce and broke my arm. And then after my arm was broken and healed, I could throw a baseball faster than a professional baseball player. So they asked me to be in this movie. And no, nothing like that at all.
Mm-hmm.
Son, I am disappointed. No, I'm kidding.
Wow.
No, I know, right? Yeah.
Man,
I was giving you references. I don't know if anybody's
going to
get those.
Behind it,
I
and
know.
it turns out.
Nobody's going to get those references. I'm a little.
Why are we interviewing this guy again?
I know.
Jay?
What is this? What is this?
He doesn't have a big. He has a big Twitch stream, something like that.
I guess so. Because your name is tied to literature and mine is tied to stories I used to write. So we have
literature
history.
is putting it is a strong word.
It's a strong word. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, no, I name all of my characters after book characters. It's not all that interesting either. So, I mean, I guess I just like to know where people get their names from. I know that that at least two of my friends just said that they randomed the names on Warcraft when they were, you know how you can pick a random name.
Oh yeah.
One of my good friends made one of every class, and the name that he stuck with was just the class he liked best. So not everyone's an exciting story.
No, exactly. But it's the name.
It's okay. We think you're interesting anyway.
Well, I appreciate that. Thanks. Thanks for having me on. Take care, guys. Bye now.
So, all right, then. I guess there's that. And then just a little introspective before we get into another question that came in. What do you think? I've heard you say it before on your stream, but to set it in stone here, because this will be, of course, VODed and put on iTunes and Stitcher and the internet, what is your opinion of your broadcast?
I think it's great.
Yeah?
What do you think he's going to say? Man, I think my broadcast sucks. No one should be watching it.
Listen,
I am so like, no, please.
No, of course. I mean, I'm not going to be like, it's terrible. Why would anybody watch this?
Yeah.
Don't ever. No. I think that it's great. And I don't mean that like I think I'm great. I just think that like I mean that by like a community, you know? Like I think the community is amazing, and the community is really what keeps the stream alive. It's not me. I mean, I show up and I say some stupid stuff and people laugh or whatever, but it's them conversing and hanging out and chatting with each other, getting in raid call, getting on Skype, you know, playing games together, and then just joining the stream when I come on. Like that's essentially what it is. And you know, because a lot of these people have been around for the years. Like I said, there's that, you know, 80% of the people are still here from the first day of subscribing. And you know, it's just they're the ones that have heard all the stories, all the funny jokes that I say, you know, they know them all. So it's just like they continue to be here, not for me, but for everybody else, you know? And I think that that's one of the beauties of the stream, honestly, is that I pride myself on having one of the best communities, in my opinion, on Twitch, you know, just because of the caliber person that's in there. So,
yeah, that's really important. I mean, it's definitely something that strikes home for us here on Final Boss. I know that when we started our show much more recently than obviously you were streaming, but we are like a podcast, like other podcasts that are out there. But a big difference is that we get to interact with people while we do the show. And that's not something that you get with a lot of other podcasts that just started out just recording and then putting it up. So I can definitely see that you've been building your community up for 2 years now, and that's a really big part of the popularity of your stream.
Absolutely, yeah, and it is pretty cool. You said that about the podcast. I think it's wonderful because people can actually ask questions and be like, "Oh, what's going on? You know, how did you do this? Or you know?" And you can just respond immediately. And they're like, "Oh yeah, now I feel like I'm a part of the team. You answered my question. This is great." You know, like I love that, which is why I'm constantly reading chat and trying to keep up as best I can. But you know.
And people watching the YouTube afterwards are going to be like, man, Anna never looks at the camera ever. She's always like looking down. And it's because I'm sitting here typing to chat. Not always the best of plans.
Yeah.
But you were on Twitch a long time ago then. I mean, since you've had your community for so long. I mean, were you one of the first streams on Twitch?
No.
How long?
No. I wasn't. I mean, I think that I started streaming on Twitch before the big boom. I think that what happened. Yeah, I think that
because I definitely wasn't watching streams 2 years ago.
A lot of people weren't. And I think what had happened was a lot of professional gamers realized that they could make money by streaming. And so it was just like everybody went from YouTube over to Twitch. You know, I think that a lot of people I shouldn't say they went, but I think a lot of people that were doing the YouTube business just kind of transitioned into Twitch because, you know, for whatever reason, I don't know if it was, you know, difficulties in monetizing their stuff or whatever. You know, I just know that there was a switch recently and within the last year. Not only that, I think CBS Interactive, I think, you know, partnered up with Twitch, and then there was different types of marketing and, you know, all those kind of sponsorships and stuff. And once that came around, you know, it just brought in a whole new audience and yeah, there's just a lot of new people, professional gamers, people that are actually good at the game, unlike myself, you know. Yeah, and I think that's also another reason why maybe the stream kind of took off a bit, because it wasn't your typical like I'm good at the game stream. It was I'm not good at the game stream, and it was actually successful. Yeah, so,
I mean, you make fun of
sometimes
yourself
those could be
a
the
lot
best
about
streams.
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. Like
watching people like try it's because it's not about like always, oh, this person is amazing at the game. There are a lot of streams where you are watching someone who's a real pro. But sometimes it's just, wow, this person's having a lot of fun, and this is a whole lot more like what it would be like if I was playing this game. And they're making very amusing commentary about it. So
yeah, they can relate to it because they're not a pro gamer, just like you are. You know, you're not a pro gamer, but it works. And so it's like, oh man, that's cool. You look like you're having a lot of fun. Like, I know that I suck at playing Hunter. I get it. Totally get it, dude. I'm like the first one to tell you I'm terribad. Like, you know, just that word really sums up my Hunter play. Terribad. But people come up and they'll send me messages like, dude, can you give me a guide on how to play? And I'm like, man, I'm not any good. They're like, dude, but you have fun playing it. And that's all that matters. You know, like I want to just know what you're using and just have fun, you know? So it's great.
So I get that's what I was trying to trap you with that question, Matthew. I was trying to get you because back during, which we get into a little bit later, the different dramas that were happening on Twitch. You said on your stream that you think you are damn funny, and all the other streams are not anywhere near as funny or as entertaining as you are. That's what I was trying to get. Which
strong words.
Strong
Did
words.
I say that?
Yeah, something along the. Yep, it could have been finagled a bit, but you said you are damn funny. So
Oh no, yeah. Well, you gotta love yourself because if you
oh,
don't love
well.
yourself,
Gotta have
nobody
that
else
confidence.
will.
Sure,
But
yeah.
I mean, I honestly think that if I tuned into, I'm not like that. I don't go, oh, I'm the best in the world. No, that's totally not me. I feel like I hate you now, Adam. I'm just kidding. I totally don't. No, but you know, like you honestly do have to love what you do, right? And I think that it also like people, and you have to really kind of you have to support, you know, your decisions and your choices that you make. And I think that a lot of the things that I say on the stream, you know, the jokes that I say, you know, or the stories that I tell, I honestly do think that they entertain people and it's entertaining to watch. You know, otherwise I wouldn't continue to like if I didn't get the response from these people, then it wouldn't be. I don't think I would be here. You know, I don't think I'd just be like, well, I guess I'm not very good at this. So you know, yeah.
If you're
I love how
constantly
everybody's like,
thinking
it's
that you're
totally
not very
true.
good at this, then you're really not going to be a very confident or good broadcaster, I think. I mean, you have to have faith in yourself. I mean, obviously you have to criticize yourself too so that you can always improve. But if you don't have that like basic faith that people want to listen to you, then I don't think you're going to go anywhere. So I think that confidence is good. You have to have that.
I think so. I think you do have to have a level of confidence, and you have to have it too, just like, you know, to deal with, like I said, I mean, a lot of the things that are on the internet. I mean, you have to have that. Yeah, you gotta know who you are. You know.
Yeah, you're always going to get some nasty negative commentary, but if you've got like some great support from people as well, then that's really what matters.
That is.
Sure. Well, that'll bring us up to another question then, which is sort of a backtrack. You're like so scared of these questions.
I know. I just don't even know what.
This one comes in from I Hear You Like on EU Twisting Nether, and it's how does one acquire such a smooth and manly voice? Do you have to sacrifice to the gods? What is your secret?
Oh, I would say that my voice is, if you were to yawn, you could get this. You yawn repeatedly. Morgan Freeman said that in an interview once. He said yawn repeatedly, and it'll open up your throat and it'll allow you to have a deeper voice. There's probably about 1 million people that were sitting there like, like yawning over and over trying to get his voice. No, man. What you do is like first thing in the morning when I wake up, I usually break a glass and I gargle the broken glass, and then I chase it down with some scotch and I smoke a pack of menthols. It's pretty.
I don't know if we should really be recommending that to anyone.
FinalBossTV does not endorse voice techniques by Ducksauce.
No. Don't do it. Don't do it. No. Yeah, no, honestly, it's funny. My voice just kind of changed when I was like 13. I went out. Yeah, it was over. I had told this story before.
Really?
Yeah, I swear to God, I was 13
Doesn't
years
that
old.
happen to, you know, a lot of people, like most men?
Yes, right. But it happened over recess. Yes, over recess. In one moment, it was, I went outside. I was in 8th grade. I went outside. And it was recess, and I'm outside, and I went to this weird school where we still had like a jungle gym, and so I was like sitting on top of the monkey bars in 8th grade, just sitting there chilling, you know, and I was talking, and I was just like, yeah, you know, it's gonna, you know, like what is going on now, you know, like yeah, and then I went back inside, and I was just like, I answered a question, I was just like, I think I know the answer to that question. Mr. Cameron, you know, like he was just like, what?
God.
Yeah. It just, and I think it was because I was a little sick beforehand, and then like that day for whatever reason, I guess I wasn't sick anymore, and it's just like, hey, what's going on? You know, so yeah, at 13 years old in 8th grade, man, on the jungle gym, on top of the monkey bars.
Puberty is one hell of a drug.
Yeah,
Indeed
exactly.
it is. Yes, there you go, right?
Oh God, that's amazing. If I renamed the show from like stuff that comes up in chat, like Legendary used to do it, that would be the name of the show.
Yeah, that would definitely be the name
That
of
would
today's
totally be the
show.
name of the show.
Would
Oh,
definitely
that's
give
amazing.
people an idea of what to expect.
Absolutely.
Well,
So-
moving right along, I would really like to know, because I'm really interested to hear how you started out with this morning news segment. What was your plan when you started streaming? Did you always have this in mind that you were going to do the morning thing, or did you had a schedule in mind? What was your goal?
When I started streaming, I never thought that it was going to do anything. I never thought that I was even going to like make money streaming. Like never. I didn't like. And it's interesting because streaming is such a weird thing. It's like in order to live before you get partnered, you almost have to have like donation money that comes in, which makes it kind of a weird situation because, you know, for me, I never thought of doing a news segment. I never thought of waking up every morning to do it. I just thought that I was going to do it when I could. You know, like I would just make people laugh if they tuned in. You know, I would scream. I was a big guy, yell a lot. You know, like I figured they might laugh at that. When donation money came in and actually started to like allow me to not go to my job, then that was where I realized I could. Oh, well, then I'll be here every day. I'll start, you know, doing a segment or something. And then I got the sub button and all that kind of stuff. You know how it all works. But it's I never ever thought that I was going to do that. The morning news segment started because one day I decided that I wanted to make people laugh by just doing little spoof news, and I did. And I came up with a little scene in I was using XSplit at the time, and I was using, there was a scene in there that was called The News, and then there was an intro, and my buddy Jay made me an intro, and I was like, this is amazing. So it was like the morning news with Matthew Rhode is what it says, and then it says like the scene had morning news on Twitch with Matthew Rhode, and I had it all, you know, everything kind of spaced out where it needed to be. And I just wrote these funny punchlines to the end of whatever funny news it was. I tried to always not go with something that was very serious, you know, like I always tried to find something that was funny, like drunk man. Well, I can't say it half the time on this one because, you know, it's PG-13. Well, whatever. Yeah. Well, just drunk man found with pants down and whatever, you know, like, and I'll just make a thing about that. Yeah. So, and it just became a huge hit and people really loved it. And so I just continued to do it. And I did that for probably like a year, I think, every morning, you know? Then it just fizzled out because I'm lazy.
But it's going to start back up again, is what you said earlier,
yes.
right?
It will start, yeah. It will start back up again. So I'm excited about that, yeah.
No, it should be fun. I think it's a different part of a broadcast. And that's sort of what other more prolific, like job-oriented broadcasters have done, is they've made more of a show out of their live stream. They don't turn the camera on. I was going to play the game for 4 hours and they turn the camera off. Right? You make a event almost out of it that people can look forward to being a little different than just watching a guy play games all day. So that's
exactly.
And that almost becomes like you're making your own television show, right? So like that's what your thought about how it would, instead of being Ducksauce, it would eventually be called just Matthew Rhode. It'd be your own little entity, more or less.
Well, not yeah. I didn't even mean the stream being Matthew Rhode. I just meant more of like the transition from like having Ducksauce and a following, I guess, or whatever. I hate that shit stuff. Sorry, it always makes me feel weird. But you know, having just a support group, if you will, for Ducksauce to Matthew Rhode, like meaning like what was DucksauceTV on Twitter will be Matthew Rhode or whatever it will be, you know. And it'll just kind of phase out. Like that's what I meant, because I don't think I'll be streaming forever. You know, I will probably stop streaming the second that something big comes along acting wise, because I won't have the time to do it. I'll be off shooting or whatever, you know. That's the plan. So yeah, but in terms of making it like a show, that was my goal once I realized that this is what I wanted to do to you know, support myself while pursuing that. Yeah, then I wanted to make it a show, yeah. And I think I did. I think I kind of made it a show.
Well, it is very inspirational for people who are thinking about getting started on Twitch themselves to hear about how it is that you got started and what kind of things that you ended up doing.
Yeah. Oh, I get it a lot. People are like, "Oh, you know, you've inspired me to start streaming and I'm having a great time doing it," you know? And I love that because it's if you find something that really will I don't know. It's just if it's a hobby or something, you know, sometimes you just need that. You need a hobby. You need to kill some time, you know, or just and it's also, you know what it is too, is it the gaming community is known for being antisocial, I should say. Well, I don't want to go out on a limb and say all that, but from the people that I've known have been antisocial when it comes to gaming. You know, there are a lot of people that just hang out and they play video games. They don't really go out and do a lot of things. But when you stream, you interact and you bring other people into your lives. And it's amazing, you know what I mean? And it might open you up in life a little bit, which is kind of great. So, All good things.
Absolutely.
You're
All
not
good
paying
things.
attention. You're typing.
Oh, Anna has to type. Just type in the chat room. It's totally okay. That's part of her
No, I
job.
mean, I think
I'm teasing. I'm totally teasing. And you're just you're like.
Wow.
no, I mean, I don't think it's really fair to characterize most gamers as being antisocial because, especially with a show like ours where we're talking to raiders, I mean, raiding is a very social activity. I do think that a lot of gamers tend to be introverts, but being an introvert doesn't necessarily mean that you don't like being around people. It just means that you like people sort of on your own terms. And that's the nice thing about interacting with people on the internet and over something like stream or in chat is that you can interact with people on your own terms and hang out with people sort of in a fashion where you can set all of the limits. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know if it's fair to say that gamers are antisocial because people have really just latched on to streaming, as you've seen, because people love you.
I guess what I meant to say is there's a lot of things that like is a bit of a stigma when it comes to a gamer, you know, like considered sometimes unhealthy, you know, sometimes like they poor diet, yada yada yada, which is not always the case, but more often than not, I find that like myself included, this is coming from experience. Like when I lived in my mother's basement, I didn't go out anywhere. I played World of Warcraft for 16 hours a day, ate honey buns and drank beer. I didn't want to do anything. Like I just wanted to hang out, you know, I just wanted to play video games. So that's also coming from myself and realizing that like streaming in turn kind of gave me confidence and opened me up along with acting, more so acting before I started streaming. But yeah, I don't even think I would have had the confidence to come on and even start streaming had it not been for acting. You know, I don't think I would have had that opportunity. It wouldn't have interested me at all. It would have been like, oh, I got to be in front of people, you know, whatever. Like, and it's just kind of weird. So I didn't mean to offend anyone if I did.
I think you're fine.
Yeah, I guess I'm more speaking from experience, you know, from just personal experience. So, oops.
Absolutely.
Let's close that window.
Well, speaking about and more about Twitch, I kind of wanted to go a bunch of the stuff we do
I
on
was
the
leaving
show.
the next question for
That's
you,
for me.
Dave.
I'll preface it because normally on the show when we bring up and we talk to hardcore raiders and top tier players or whatever like that, you know, our normal bread and butter, we like to quell rumor and give concrete information because lots of stuff gets hearsayed, and of course with the new social media way that it works within streaming and stuff like that, and all this other internet stuff and jargon and what forums do. We like to put nails in coffins and just put stuff to bed. Like, get it out of there. Just get it out of there. And give you real information. So what I wanted to bring up with you now is a couple of months ago now, there was a bit of a debacle on TwitchTV. Doing with
Twitch drama.
With giveaways and donations for giveaways and sub giveaways and what this kind of stuff like that. And you were not necessarily in the forefront because many people did this, but you were involved in something similar to this. So what happened? Walk us through this. And then just put this to bed and set everyone straight on what happened so that no one else keeps freaking out.
Yeah, it's very simple. I was doing giveaways for subscribers. I was doing giveaways. We were doing donator giveaways, right? Things like that. So people would contribute money and you would give a prize. Well, I have a tax guy. And I went and talked with the tax guy. This was around that time. And I explained to him the situation and he was like, Are you a dumbass? Like, what are you, what are you doing? And I'm like, well, what? He was God. You can't do that, dude. He's like, that is illegal, bro. You can't do that kind of stuff. Like, it's considered a raffle. You can't do it. And he's like, you need to stop that right now. And I'm like, I had no idea. I'm going to do it right now. And I'm going to tell people. So there was a stream that literally I take that back. What I did was I wrote a letter out to the subscribers letting people know that I was not going to be able to continue doing subscriber giveaways or any type of donor giveaway, and I would be refunding the money that came in that month to the people that contributed to it, simply because I wasn't able to do it. And I told them at first, I didn't want to throw people under the bus and be like, it's illegal, you can't do it. So I said that it didn't make good business sense tax-wise because I was going to be paying taxes on the money that came in plus paying taxes on the stuff that was sent out, which was just something I came up with immediately just because it's the truth. But it was also something that would just kind of put it to bed and not have to worry about it anymore. Well, people continued to come in and they were like, what really happened? That's stupid. People are still doing it. And I'm like, listen, it's illegal. It's illegal. You just can't do it. You're not allowed to do it. I live in New York. You can't do it. People and Twitch, the Twitch terms of service indicated that you couldn't do any type of giveaway because obviously it's California state law. Twitch is based out of California. You can't do any type of giveaway because it's considered a sweepstakes that are outside of the country. Yep. You never hear that on anything you ever hear on the radio, available for legal U.S. residents 18 or over. You always hear that, and it's because that's what it is. You can't just give things away for people that are not residents of the United States. For a company that's based in the United States. So that was my reasoning behind it, just nipping that in the bud. I was like, I can't do it anymore. And it really, really sucked because there was a time where I had 4,250 subscribers. And since then, since not being able to do subscriber giveaways, we're at like 3,000. So it's been a huge, I said, 4,350. So there's been, 1,300 people, around 1,300 people that have unsubscribed. And, it's a big hit. But at the same time, I was also giving away, $2,400 a month in Amazon gift cards for subscribers, unbeknownst to me that this was considered an internet raffle and you can't do, or just a raffle in general, and you can't do it. So there was a message that I got from a streamer who also kind of said it after I had taken it off. They were like, yeah, it was, you can't do that. I had to do the same thing. I had it going on, and then I talked to somebody and they were like, you can't do that. So it was kind of a big deal. When I said all of that and I broke it down, there was about 5,000 people that were online at the time watching my stream. And I realized then that I was telling enough people that word would get around and I wouldn't have to go and tell people individually. It's not really my job to be like, listen, dude, like you're doing everything wrong, Like I can't, you know what I mean? Like you can't do that. It's not my job. It's not my position to do that or say that. So I said it to 5,000 people, and after that, things happened. And it wasn't my doing. You know what I mean? Like I let people know what it was, and then someone decided to go and go after certain individuals and try and get them in trouble. You know what I mean? And so that backlashed at me like, oh, Ducksauce was all the guy that did it. But at the end of the day, it wasn't. I just was trying to follow the law and tell people about it. Exactly. So yeah, and so what had changed recently? Twitch didn't really change their terms of service. That had always been there. I just never really read it and decided to go into it. Yeah, I mean, it was me. It was my fault. I didn't understand it. I didn't go through it. So. Yeah, I mean, now that they have it where you follow your local law, here in New York, I'm not allowed to give away things to subscribers, because if you're paying to be a subscriber, that's considered a raffle. If any game of chance where I just roll the dice, and if you pop up, it's a raffle. You can't do it. So the only time I could actually give anything away for me is if I could do it to legal U.S. residents. So it sucks, but 18 or older. That's what it says.
That's what it says.
That's why it is what it is in my stream now. So it's a bummer.
Yeah, I mean, it's weird to see the decline that people unsubbed because they weren't getting a chance to win free stuff too, which is such an interesting thing, because I know there are definitely people out there that do it, that may even sub on multiple accounts to do it, to just get a chance at free stuff. So I mean, I think it makes everything a lot more healthy now than it was prior, of course. But
I agree.
That is definitely something that was really big, and it kind of left a bit of a tremor on Twitch now, and I really wonder how many people are still adhering to those laws and have actually read up the TOS. So, I mean, put it in perspective. Yeah, I mean, just I was saying, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say they just need to be careful and read up on their state law, and that's it, and hope for the best. I mean, yeah, it's I just don't want to see anybody else get in trouble like that, because that's no bueno.
It's no good. Yeah.
It's definitely a sign of the fact that you're really doing something where the rules have not really been laid out yet, and Twitch, I think, is sort of trying to figure out the rules as they go and as they explode in popularity. So there are going to be bumps just like that one, and I'm sure there will probably be more bumps in the future as streaming becomes something that just enters the mainstream that everybody does.
Yeah.
I think it's more and more popular. Yeah. I was going to say, too, because we have our loyalty bot here that we recently started up back actually on Elvine's episode, the Gold Making Mage, which we had on the show. And we do the loyalty currency that you earn through him is just by watching the show. There's no real money involved at all. It's just to reward people that watch the stream, that watch the show here, watch Anna and our personal streams, because that's our entity. We are Final Boss, the two of us. So, and what we do for giveaways that way is you just turn in your fake currency to just put into yourself for the giveaways, which we have some later today if we do between the breaks. So if you want to win some stuff, then stick around. But there's nothing tied to it, money at all. So that was one of the best ways to do it now too. And that if you watch a lot of the show or our streams, you have a little better chance to win, I suppose. But everyone is still a chance to win. That's the big draw too. I don't think you mentioned on that. Yeah. Everyone has to have a chance to win. Exactly. You can't exclude people, because then that is basically just internet gambling. Yeah. So
yeah, you're excluding them for not paying.
For not paying.
I think that's really what it boils down to. Is if there's any type of entry fee to get something, then that's what. Correct. Yeah, it's just it sucks that it even had to get to that. It was. what was just supposed to be fun and good to give things back just turned into unfun. No fun.
No fun at all. No fun at all.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna move the little bit more about Twitch to the after show with the other part here because we're looking good on time.
Yeah,
But
we
I
are.
do have
We are definitely.
another question.
Okay.
Are you ready for one more?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
This one
Gotta
is
be you. You don't put these things in the notes, so you gotta ask this one.
well, no, it's in the notes. It's the fourth question. This one gets a little personal. Matthew, are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready. Yes.
All right. Alrighty.
Uh-oh.
This one comes in from Elithia on Aonar. What aspect, other than any, would you most like to change or improve about yourself?
That's a really good question, though. I'm a bit too sensitive about a lot of things. And I let my mind get the best of me sometimes. My mind will race endlessly trying to figure out ways to combat things for the broadcast, for acting or whatever, to the point where it drives me crazy. I can't sleep. I don't really bite my nails, but every once in a while I'll be like, oh my God, And like it's that kind of, like my mind just won't stop racing. And if I could change anything, I would just want to mellow out just for a bit. Like I have a moment of clarity when I go to the gym and like I work out for like an hour or something, and then I get out and I'm like, and I'm like chill. I'm like super chill, and I can think and I can focus and I can plan my day and I can do all that kind of stuff. But man, that would be the first thing I think that I would probably change. I think I just need to meditate. You want to meditate with me?
You want to meditate right now?
Just home.
Just right now?
No.
Oh, damn.
No. But no, like it's yeah, exactly. But that would probably be the first thing that I would change. There's plenty to change, man. If you could, but yeah, that would probably be the first thing to go, or to get fixed. Yeah.
Or to get what?
Or to get fixed.
Oh, to get
fixed. Yeah, fix it. I want to fix it. I want to fix to where my brain doesn't raise.
To get fixed, not get fixed. Not okay. Oh, okay.
Oh, you see what? Yeah.
Don't let that happen.
Hey, I don't even know where you were going with that.
Me?
Or me?
Anyway, moving right along. I mean, I feel like even though I am moving along here, so let's move along.
Okay,
even
fine.
Even though you think that may be kind of a flaw, I mean, I feel like it can benefit you in some ways as well, because when you are constantly asking yourself whether you are being as funny as you want to be, or whether you're doing it right, or whether you sound okay, or whether people are liking you, then I mean, on one hand, it's kind of annoying, but on the other hand, you really know that you're doing your best because you're always looking for improvement instead of just being satisfied with being okay. You're striving to be perfect. That can be a good thing. I don't know if you'd really want to lose that.
No, I guess that there's a fine line though. I think like striving to be better and then striving to be perfect. I think there's a difference, and I think striving to be better might be the way that I should go, but striving to be perfect is a little crazy. And I think that's what happens, because you'll never be perfect. Like something will always go wrong or whatever. But yeah, that's I think that's the fine line that I need to be able to find. I need to be able to balance, right there.
Exactly.
Just strive to be better, which is fine, but. Yeah, get fixed.
There's definitely.
You think I'm talking about drugs or something? No.
No, chat room. Chat room's taking it away. Yep, they are.
Come on, guys. Just
Definitely have a great viewership today, though. Chat's been really exciting.
Yeah.
I think everyone really appreciates seeing you on the show here.
Everyone's spending that molten coin.
It's amazing. Thanks for having me on. It's awesome.
No, awesome. Anything else you think of, Anna? Or are we going to take a little bit of breaky poo here?
No, I feel like we should take a break, come back after. Chat's been, I only took like 2 questions out of chat, but y'all make sure that you ask us more stuff that we can ask him in the after show.
Well, that means it's button time then. Here it comes.
Yes.
Wait for it. There it is. All right. Perfect. Well.
Oh my God, I can hear the music this time.
You can. Well, I don't set it up every week because it's a pain in the ass. So, again, everybody, thank you very much for watching. Our awesome guest today, Mr. Matthew Rhode, a.k.a. Ducksauce. You can go follow his live stream and all his socials at twitch.tv/Ducksauce. Thank you, sir. It was awesome.
No, man. Thanks for having me, dude.
Very much fun. And, of course, the lovely host of FinalBossTV. There's Anna. She's over on Twitter at Inafield.
Yes, I'm glad that I actually showed up for the episode today. It was a little bit of fun.
Wow, a little bit of fun.
Just a little.
You're just a little bit of fun, Matthew. I'm sorry, not a lot of fun.
It's all right. It's all right. Yeah.
It's all right. Okay.
Really, really appreciated having you on today. It's really fun to talk to a streamer who's been on Twitch for so long.
Yes.
Happy to do it. Happy to be here.
And of course, there's me. I'm over here on twitch.tv as well. BayTLM is where you'll find all of my socials and me outside of the stream and whatnot. And yeah, we already let fly who's coming on next week, but Anna can plug it again. Who's next week, Anna? On May the 4th with you.
Yeah, next week, Ian Hazakostas, watcher, lead game designer of World of Warcraft, rating expert, and we'll be asking him all of our favorite questions and complaints. Some complaints about what's going on with Warlords. He's got some new information to announce to us as well. He specifically said that that's one of the reasons he'll be on the show next week. So look forward to it.
Excited.
Definitely don't miss that one.
Absolutely. Super excited next week. And if you want to send in your questions now, the button's right down below. And go follow all of our social stuff down there as well. Our Twitter, our Facebook, our YouTube if you've missed past episodes. There are 38 and after show episodes you've missed. There's the WoW Trivial Pursuit special event that had Nobble the Noble and Silver Latomi and FatBossTV and Brutal Static and me and Anna and Elvine the Gold Making Mage. That's like 2.5 hours or more of awesome. We also had episode 15, which was like our behind the scenes of BlizzCon last year. So yeah, go check all that out. We'll be back in a little bit. We have some giveaways to do during the break, after our commercial break. And then we have the after show, where you can just basically just talk to Matthew and us through Twitter and the chat room. So go grab a drink, and after the commercial break, we'll see you for some giveaways. Thank you guys very much for watching. 4 p.m. PST, PDT.
4 p.m. EST.
EST, 10 CEST is the show next week. We'll see you guys next week, and everyone behind the scenes at Final Boss. Thank you very much for watching. I didn't stumble over the intro, but I stumbled over the outro. Bye, guys. We'll see you later. Bye. Bye.
See ya.